Hi everybody. This video is going to show you how to use Google Meet for a virtual meeting. If your teacher is now using Google Meet, you can use this tutorial to teach you how to get into the meeting safely and how to exit the meeting as well. So on your D2L page, you're going to go in and you're going to see the link to your class meeting. Now Google Meet works a little bit differently if you use something before like Teams. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go click on the link that your teacher's provided for you, but notice right here, there's also some additional information called a nickname. So your teacher is going to have a specific nickname for their meeting. So what we're going to do is we're going to click here for our class meeting first.
Now, just a heads up, if you click on that link and you go to a screen that looks like this, that's a problem because it means you're not signed into your Google Chrome account. Remember, always sign into your Google Chrome account, go up to the top right-hand corner, and then click on your little avatar or your name initial to make sure that you are synced and that you see your DSBN address. This is the proper Google Meet homepage.
Now right here, notice how it says use a meeting code. So I'm going to click on meeting code and I'm going to type in that nickname. Now, I want to show you something that might happen to you, and so you know what it means. When I hit continue, notice it says you're not allowed to start a meeting. So as a student, you can't start a meeting yourself. Now, if you get this code, nothing's wrong. It just means that your teacher hasn't started the meeting yet. A teacher must be in the Google Meet for you to get in there. So if you get that code, don't worry about it, but let's show you what happens when the teacher is now in there.
So let's go back in because now the teacher has started the meeting and let's see what happens this time. I'll type in the nickname again and I'll hit continue. Now, since it's your first time, you may get a pop-up that says you need to allow the microphone and the camera to access your Google Meet. So you're simply going to go up to the top and click allow, and then you might have to hit dismiss. But now you're set up to join your Google Meet. And now that I have access to my camera, here I am, I'm on the screen. So I'm not in the meeting yet, I'm about to go into the meeting. So depending on how your teacher has set up the rules for going in or the norms, they might want your camera off. So you can turn your camera off and on here, and you can turn your microphone off there as well. I'm gonna turn my camera on because I wanna show you a new tool in here. This is called the blur background. If I click on that, you can see everything in my background, and when I click it off, it kind of makes it fuzzy in the background. So that's a nice feature too. I'm ready to join the meeting now. I can see Mr. Kitchen is in here and I'm going to hit join now. Another thing you might see is you're going to get a little button on the side that says ready to join. That's because your teacher is set up the way that you have to be allowed in the meeting. Of course, your teacher's going to have this conversation with all of you ahead of time, but if you see this, you'll know what to do. So you have to click ask to join. You're going to click on that and you won't be let in right away. What's going to happen is your teacher's going to get a notification. Then they're going to admit you into there. Once they do that, you'll enter the meeting. So welcome to my classroom. This robot is actually the teacher screen. So pretend our teacher is a robot. If you look up top here, you can see a little picture of yourself. What I'm going to do is show you a new feature because sometimes I want to see myself in what's called this grid in the screen. So when I click on this, it's called show a tile. I'm going to click on that and now I'm in the tile with all my friends. So you're going to be able to see everybody with this Google Meet. Let me show you a couple more options that we have in here to make this a different experience for you. Down at the very bottom, you're going to see 3 little dots. These are where you have other options. So if I click on those, there's a couple things we can do here. Number 1, for the settings. So in here, this is where you can change some sound settings. For instance, if you need to switch your microphone on your computer, you can choose the one that they're using. Or if your speakers aren't working or you're using headphones, you can change it here. So I'm going to close this because I don't need to change anything. Back in the 3 dots, there's also turn on captions. So if you want to see closed captions run along the bottom while someone's talking, you can. You have the background blur here as well. So I can turn that on and off right from here. But the other one I really want to point you to is this one here that says change layout. Change layout is nice because this is how we're going to see all our friends in the meeting. When I click on that, I have 4 different options. I typically leave it on auto because if it's on auto, the screens will adjust based on who's on the screen and who's talking. So right away, if it's on auto, look down here. Right now, I'd only see 9 people. Well, I bet I'm going to have a lot more friends than 9 people in here, so I can move that over and change it to however many I need. So as more people join, I will see all their tiles. You can switch it to other views, but I find auto is the best one to do because it's going to work automatically for me and I don't have to worry about changing the layout again. So I'm gonna hit the X on there, and that's how you get into here as the basic screen. Now, some other options I wanna show you. Up top here, we have a little icon with people. This shows you the people that are in here, okay? Now, obviously I'm not going to add people because people can't get into the meeting, but there is a chat. So just like if you've been on a Teams meeting before, there is a chat here, and you can send a message to everyone. Remember, this chat is forever, which means we have to be appropriate when we use this chat. I'm not gonna write anything that has nothing to do with what we're learning right now. Because here's another option you might run into. The teacher has just switched off the chat feature, which means if you look down below, chat isn't available at this time. So I don't even have the option to write anything in here. That's actually really good because when someone's talking to me normally, I want to make sure I'm focused on them like you are with me now. I don't want you to be worried about typing in the chat down here. So you might see that button that says chat's not available. That's because your teacher's turned it off. It's not because anything's not working properly. When they're ready to have a discussion, maybe they finished teaching a math lesson and they want you to talk about the math lesson, they will let you know that they've turned the chat back on. And there you can see the teacher responded to something and the chat's back on. All right, so you don't need to tell the teacher the chat's off. They're going to know because they're the ones that probably turned it off, so it will help you focus. Now, the next most important thing in our meeting is going to be this. When the meeting's over, what do we do? When the meeting's over, it's super easy and very simple. All we're going to do is we're going to go down to the bottom here where you see the leave call. It's the red phone hang up button. So when you're ready to leave, all you do is hit this button and you're now out of the meeting. Now, if you did that accidentally, if your teacher's still running it, you can just hit rejoin. Hit join now, and you'll be able to get back into the meeting. But there may be the occasion where the meeting is over and you've left. Once the teacher leaves and you try and hit rejoin, you're going to get this error message. It's actually not an error message. It just means that the teacher has left and you're no longer able to get in. Because once again, you can't get into a meeting without a teacher, nor can you start a meeting. So that's just a nice safety feature. Nothing's wrong. It just means the meeting's over. And that's your little video on how to use Google Meet.